Right, it's been a while. Stuff got in the way, life got in the way, work got in the way. It's that time of year. I did get the sound effects done within about 3 weeks' time. It took me a little bit longer than I'd hoped. I went through an attempt at trying to make sound effects and stuff like that, but the truth is I'm just not an audio guy. I'm not educated enough on sound to be able to learn all that and do it in time. So I resorted to a website called opengameart.org and literally went through all of their sound effects one by one, all of the music one by one, and picked obviously what I wanted, tested it out in the game. Then I had to do all the optimizations, I kept everything at 22k hertz. I chopped up bits that I didn't need, cut out of it, reduced and refined as much as possible. Finally settled on a selection of sound effects and music tracks for the game. And it really came together, but there were some interesting lessons and design choices I had to make. So first of all, the biggest problem was there is a limit to how many simultaneous sound effects you can have playing on a mobile device, a serious limit. From what I gathered, you don't want more than 8 maximum. So I limited it to 6 with two sound effects grace, just in case I needed it for any priority sounds that I never wanted to be overridden or cancelled out, So that means that with all the enemies I've got on screen and all the stuff going on, I couldn't just go, well, let's make everything have a sound effect. And also, we're sort of quite far back watching the scene. We're not in the scene as such, and it's set in space. Now, although this isn't some space simulator and it doesn't need to be realistic, we wouldn't really hear the firing sounds of the weaponry, and it didn't make sense to hear every single bullet being fired by every enemy, or even the player. In fact, it actually was annoying because the player's weapons are on auto fire the whole time, and it just sounded messy, and I felt like what it took away from the atmosphere really. And I've wanted to maintain this sort of atmosphere of that everything's bigger than the player, and the sound effects, having the player's weapon firing all the time, everything actually totally ruined that. And what I figured out was what was best was to have sound effects for the enemies exploding when you kill them, because you're constantly firing, you're constantly destroying objects, and they can be kind of muted because it's in the space, so it's not annoying the player. It's sort of a distant boom, 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 like that. And that actually worked really well. I was worried that it wasn't going to come out well. I was actually panicking at first, like, I can't have all the sound effects, it's going to be terrible. And then I thought, okay, let's think about this in terms of something else. Let's not think about this in terms of, well, everything makes a sound. Let's think of it in terms of artistry, in terms of the feeling we're trying to convey or evoke in someone. So that worked out really well. And then all I needed was that. I needed an alert for low health, and now that's a priority sound effect that always has to come up. And I needed not a sound effect for every time we collect a resource, because again, you're collecting resources as often as you are firing your weapon, because every time you kill something, it drops like 6 orbs and they go towards you and you collect them all. So it's constant noise. And so what I did was I thought, well, we'll just think of a number. Every 5,000 resources collected, did we get a ding sort of thing, a little, keeps the player engaged. It gives the player enough feedback. It happens often enough to encourage them, positive feedback, reinforcement, whatever you want to call it, and keeps them plodding along. And you get a little green text of the 5,000 that's been collected popping up as well. So you're visually stimulated, audio, perfect. The other priority sound is the cannon that fires the projectile down the level is the main obstacle of the game. Needs to always make a sound. So the low health and the cannon are priority. What I did was create this sound manager, so to make sure that I always have only a fixed amount of sounds playing. So I have this is the sound clips that I've set for each sound: player, fire, which I don't use, menu music, game music, game music, game music 2, 3, 4, you know. So I've set all the sound files, and then I have audio sources. Now I've reserved 0 and 1 for game music and alerts, okay? So it will only use these ones here and leave the first 2 reserved. And that way I can change the game music when I need to, and I have a cleanup function so that when I clean up the sounds, basically there's a little flag in there. So if I want to stop the game music, it will. If I don't, it will just start at the 1th array number and stop all the other audio sources. Little hacks here and there. I also have an optional wait for clip to end and play, because some sound effects, like say the explosions of the enemies dying, well, I don't want to wait for those to end. I just want to keep playing it on top of it and reuse it, so that I'm not just filling up all of the audio sources. So I also have a get audio source playing clip. These are all just so that I can get available audio sources, get game music timestamp. This is for when I pause the game and unpause it, I get a timestamp to make sure that it's playing at the right place when I go back. So I had to do all these little sort of hacky things to manage the sound effects. It took quite a while to figure all this out, and I sort of did it as I went along. There wasn't a major design process ahead of time. I just figured it out as I was doing it. As you can see from my comment here, this is all a bit mental, but I needed health alerts to take priority, whilst also needing to always be able to play a loot collect sound. So 1 is reserved for alerts, but if the health alert is playing, then the next alert should wait its turn. So you see here, if it's playing and the sound that I want to play now is not a priority sound, which would be a health alert, then we start a coroutine of wait for clip to end to play, and it waits for the health alert sound to finish before it plays the loot collection sound or whatever sound I'm trying to play. Yeah, so I did all that, and now we have music and sound in the game, and it's tied together very nicely. I'm going to give you a little demo of it now so we can hear some of it. Very nice. Okay, we'll restore that. Right, now I've removed the player data to do it fresh, just to demonstrate how it works. So we need to go to the start. Okay, and we're away. Now, just for the you hear that? Now, just a second. What I'm going to do is turn the music down a bit. Yeah. And I'm going to change my loadout. Increase my armor. That. Okay. Choose the level speed and resume. Oh, low health, brilliant. That's the low health alert. As you can hear the explosions of the enemies. They're so much better with sound, isn't it? Actually, let's take this off. You see the little resource collection there? Well, there's multiple game music tracks obviously, but they have to run their course and then they'll switch over. In casual play we have a different selection. Bear in mind, obviously, I've got the armor full just for the purposes of the demo, so obviously there is a difficulty curve. If I go to next level, it should change the track, I think. Yeah. Then if I stop, change the loader. Yeah? Cool. And then we've got replay boss, which I'll show you in a minute, and we've got the credits. Obviously I've got to now put all of the sound effects credits. What I'm going to do now is just reinstate the player data. Replace it, yeah. This is the boss. Now I've added some visual effects here when you destroy a arm of the boss, it sets off a load of explosions to show you that it's damaging the boss. See? So yeah, that's pretty much it, other than showing you the boss end cutscene and the end of the game. All that, I don't really want to spoil it with all the new sound effects and the music and stuff. I'll leave that as a nice surprise for anyone who wants to actually beat the game. Yeah, I'm happy with it. There's a few little bits I need to polish up before I actually publish it. There's also an issue that I haven't figured out yet. When I play the intro cutscene, once this is actually a video, because I created a scene and then recorded it to disk from Unity. I created a scene in Unity, and in Unity I record that scene to disk as an MP4, and then I play the MP4 here, so it takes much less power. However, when this video is finished, even though I clear the screen, buffer, everything, there's little edges on either side that stay there on the next screen. So on my phone, I'll show you on my phone. Here it is on my phone, right? Here it is on my phone. If I go to campaign, so it plays the video. Now, if I skip the video, if you can see, but there's bits on each side. It's very, very small. You can't see that because it's not focused in, but you can see that there's bits on the sides here and here left over from the video, and I'm having trouble sorting that out. Extremely frustrating. It's the one thing that I need to do. Other than that, it's pretty much ready. What I'm going to do is make another video that's focused purely on game design aspect of this game. So now I've finished the game, what I'm going to do is make a nice presentation of how I designed each aspect of the game. Just like a video version of a game design document, if you will. And I'll be publishing that in the next few days. But I just wanted to get this final devlog up there. Sound effects done. Very happy with it. Excited to get it released. I'm going to release it on Steam for PC and in the Google Play Store for Android. I'll charge a few pounds for it because it is an indie game. It's all made by myself. There's no adverts, as I've said before. There's going to be no ad revenue, no microtransactions or anything like that. You buy the game, you own the game, you get all the updates, future updates as part of purchasing the game, just like it used to be. And I'm going to continue in that vein forever in all the games I make. That's the model. Okay, so yeah, just a quick devlog there. I think it was quick anyway. That's it. Stay tuned for the game design video, because that's going to be interesting, I think. I've been writing that out. I've written it all out now. I've made all my notes. I've got together all the video clips and the graphics to illustrate the design process, and I've just got to make the video over the next couple of days and get it out there. Thanks for watching, and once this is published, obviously, or once I have a release date for it, I'll make a video about that and provide links to the Steam page and the Play Store page. Thank you very much. Happy New Year. Have a good New Year's Eve party, whatever you're doing, and take care.